everybody. This is me, MC Gamer, your host and instructor here at Hyrule Academy. It's a wonderful Friday night, everybody, to be joining you. It's also a bit of a sad night for me because it is the finale episode of Hyrule Academy here in 2014. For you guys who might be watching this in 2015, 2016, or beyond, I thank you for your listening into these old shows. But for those joining us here in the realm of 2014, it is a night of honoring the past of Hyrule Academy and having one big last hurrah for 2014 before we make our turn even better in 2015. So don't worry about that. We will be joining you once again at the end of January in 2015. But more on that later. First off, what was that beautiful song that just graced your ears, my friends? Why, that was The Creation of Hyrule, as arranged by Chad Slater from the Symphony of the Goddesses. And that song was special. And it was special for one reason. For those of you guys who've been sticking with Hyrule Academy for a long time, you will know that that was the intro song to episode 1 of Hyrule Academy. 31 shows later, actually it's episode 32, I do believe, episode 32 here. I decided we should open the show with how we started, to once again to say thank you to Hyrule Academy for being such a wonderful show. It was a lot of fun, this first season. But anyway, let's not get caught up on the past, because we have the future. The future being the past. But in Hyrule, because Hyrule's a thing, everybody. Hyrule is a wonderful place, and in it, there is a hero. A hero that spans the generations. A hero that many of us know as Link, but has been known as many other names, such as Franker Z, some expletives I can't say on the show, Butts, maybe your name, maybe Matthew, maybe some Ricks out there. But most of us know him as Link. And there's something that happens to one of the first iterations, quote-unquote, of Link, where he does this awesome thing. He kills and defeats Demise. Demise is a great evil being, and if you want to see how that happens, go visit Skyward Sword. But as he defeats Demise, Demise sets a curse on him and the wonderful Zelda, and he says, "Those who share the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero." So he sets a curse on them. The blood of the goddess, which we know is Zelda and the royal line that follows her, and the spirit of the hero. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. The spirit of the hero. Now, this is not to be confused necessarily with the hero spirit, or the golden wolf, you may know it as, from Twilight Princess. But we may draw some similarities and some comparisons to it, but it's not particularly about the Twilight Princess iteration that we see. And so I have some questions for you guys tonight. I'm going to leave it very open-ended tonight as a big hurrah for Hyrule Academy. I want you guys to get to work on these theories tonight. I want us to really flex our theory muscles for our finale here. I hope you're all ready. I hope your brains are nice and massaged. If you didn't massage your brain before this, good, because I think that might hurt. So my first question is, what is the spirit of the hero? Because Demise curses it. It's not like blood where, it's passed down. It's a spirit. What is the spirit of the hero? And how do you gain the spirit of the hero? Do you gain it? Like, what's going on with that? Who is determined to have the spirit of the hero? And lastly, how different is this spirit of the hero than the hero spirit from Twilight Princess? I know. It's a bit confusing because of the wording. I'll probably just call it the Golden Wolf from here on out, just for the sake of conversation. But if you want to discuss these questions or ask your own to me, you can do so over at radiohyrule.com/chatroom, and your messages will be featured on later on the show. Tonight I have a wonderful set of music for you all. It's all songs from the past episodes of Hyrule Academy, and I brought back some of our favorites that you guys enjoyed. We got some dubby-steppies. We got some jazz. We got some acoustic. We got some metal, and we even got a little bit of weird pieces, because that's what's all been about at Hyrule Academy. We've played over 250 songs here on the show to this date, and that's a lot of songs for one show, in my opinion. But I chose just some of the best. To start us off, how about some Generations? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hyrule Academy on this wonderful Friday evening. I'm having a great time talking with everybody inside the chat room all about the spirit of the hero, a wonderful subject. My document of notes and things to talk about inside our discussion section is already overflowing, and I'm sure we're going to have a long show tonight because of it. But for right now, I want to kind of talk about a personal theory and a little bit of fan fiction, I suppose, that I myself am subscribed to. But before we get into that music you were just listening to, excellent tunes from the history of Hyrule Academy. First up, we heard Generations, and that's by Drum Ultima, Julian Aversa, Expert Novice, and Zircon. A wonderful collaboration effort to make that wonderful song. I thought it was a great thing to get us started with our conversations. I thought the Forest Temple remix really helped bring us back to some of those memories of Ocarina of Time. And in a lot of ways is where the spirit of the hero was awoken in all of us as kids, or maybe a bit older or younger even. And so that's fine. I mean, that's also so cool because anybody can play it, and I feel like those songs they'll last the times, and it's really cool. After that, we heard Dragon Roost Island by Mr. Solid Snake 745 and his Floppy Drive Orchestra. And I wanted to make sure I threw in something weird tonight because to kind of call back to all the weird and excellent songs we heard these past a little bit over 33 weeks, I do believe. It's been a fun time, and of course those weird songs keep us going. After that, we heard Errol's theme by Insane in the Rain music. I couldn't go without some Insane in the Rain on the set list tonight because you guys know how much of a fan of him and his music that I am, and that was his latest Zelda cover, I do believe, and I had to make sure I got that in there, and I hope you enjoyed the jazz. I thought some funky tunes that might remind you of Outset Island, might remind you of when young Link from The Wind Waker was beginning his journeys and was preparing to become a hero one day. Maybe not right at the beginning, though. Anyways, so now I want to talk about something that I haven't overanalyzed this for canonical accuracy, so fair warning on this. But I have my own theories. Now, this is going to sound a little bit weird, and I mean, I guess you can view me as, a kid at heart, I suppose. But sometimes when I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I'm laying in bed, I'm just trying to fall asleep. One thing that helps calm my brain down after all these projects that I work on is I like to imagine stories and continue stories from the previous night in Hyrule and make my own fan fiction of sort that I never write down. It's just in my head. Maybe I'll write it down one day and become the most famous fan fiction maker in the world. But that's not my my goal. And a lot of it revolves around the idea of the spirit of the hero. And in my head, I've always thought of the spirit of the hero as this one sentient feeling, an emotion that follows the hero. And in part it was in the Master Sword, but I realized that's not very canonical. But more, it just kind of follows and knows when Hyrule's in need, and it sleeps alongside, kind of like how Fi sleeps waiting for the next master. It's kind of like that, where the spirit of the hero waits, and when it knows that Hyrule's in trouble, that it needs the hero again, it awakens and it finds the hero. And sometimes the hero will find it in some ways, like in The Wind Waker, for example. But in my fan stories and all this, I've had kind of some ideas of how we can mix up Zelda and how we can kind of break these molds that a lot of people are mentioning inside the chat of what the spirit of the hero means. A lot of people have been saying it's about the Triforce of Courage, and the guy who gets the Triforce of Courage is the hero. And first of all, there's one canonical instance where that's outproven, where inside the first Legend of Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda for NES, Link defeats Ganon after collecting all the pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom. Then he takes the Triforce of Power, he saves the girl, and everything's happy, and eventually he has to reawaken the first Princess Zelda by finding the third Triforce piece, that is the Triforce of Courage. He hasn't gained that until then. So is he not a hero for defeating Ganon? Does he not possess the spirit of the hero? I think that's all bull, to be quite honest with you. I think that the hero doesn't have to be destined for the Triforce of Courage, and the Triforce of Courage doesn't mean they have to have the spirit of the hero. In one of my stories, I had the idea of there one day being a Link and he's the hero of Hyrule. He does great things. He defeats Ganon or something, because that's what heroes do. And when everything is said and done, he grows old, and he becomes, like a top-ranking general inside the Hyrulean army, and that's fine and dandy. And then there comes this point inside the time where a new hero is chosen. A new child is awakened. He is now the new person who possesses the spirit of the hero. Congratulations, my friend. And what was cool about it was the person chosen wasn't even a Hylian. Inside the story, it was a Gerudo who was chosen, and that Gerudo actually went on and gained the Triforce of Power, and that's what happened with them, because the Triforce of Courage was still held by this old hero, because he still had the Triforce of Courage, but he no longer was the hero. And that's just one of my like I don't know, stupid little stories that I thought would be a kind of idea of how the spirit of the hero might work. It just knows when the Triforce, or when Hyrule is in need, and it does whatever it can to help out. It's not necessarily a guide. It doesn't speak, of course, to Link. Like that would be breaking the third wall. But more so, you kind of like just help them along, and you're within them. And I guess the best way to personify that is something that was mentioned in the chat by the player. I don't want to say this is the canonical reason, but the way you see the spirit of the hero in every game is as the player. You yourself are guiding Link. You're the one who has to have the courage to, I don't know, open the next door, find the next key, kill the next enemy, etc., and so on. And you have to have the wisdom to solve the puzzles and the power to, I guess, kill the enemies, with swords and stuff. So, I mean, it's a very, very interesting thought, and maybe you guys like it. I'm not sure if you do, but I just wanted to kind of share my personal feelings and stories on how I've been inspired by the idea of the spirit of the hero and why I chose to bring it to you guys for the season finale tonight. If you guys have any more theories and stuff what wonderful radio broadcasting. If you have any more theories or questions, go ahead and ask them over at radiohyrule.com/chatroom, and I will be getting back to them a little bit later on inside the show. But for right now, I got some excellent music. We're going to have some dubsteppy. We're going to have some orchestra. We're going to have some vocals. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a little bit of acoustic as well. So enjoy these songs. This is MC here on Radio Hyrule with Hyrule Academy. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to Hyrule Academy, everybody. I hope you've been enjoying the music. It has surely been enjoyable on my end. Of course, keeping an eye on the chat room for any great theories and discussions to bring up in just a few minutes. But first, what were we listening to? All those great tunes. First up was Larudo's Lament, and that was sung by Ellie Birdie 23. I thought a little bit of some light, cool vocals would be a great way to start out that music block. Bring us on into something a little bit more exciting. Got some Courage from CS Guitar 89. Is somebody who does a lot of metal covers and stuff like that, rock covers on YouTube. However, I have to say I love their acoustic stuff, where it's just simple and clean, and they in fact got out an ocarina for that particular song, and I think they did a particularly good job, seeing as even they're not really, I wouldn't say a woodwind ocarina style player. They definitely prefer their stringed instruments, but still, wonderful job by them and a great performance. After that, we heard Staff Roll 2 from Ocarina of Time 3D. That, of course, was from the official soundtrack. If you have that game for your Nintendo 3DS, go and beat the game. You'll hear it. Or you can find it on the internet. I encourage you to beat the game, though. Maybe you'll learn something and bring it back to the show next time with more knowledge. After that, we heard Transient Shadows from Will Rock. Thank you, Will Rock, who, of course, is a wonderful musician, and a lot of his stuff can be found over at ocremix.com or .org. For some reason, it's blanking on my mind. It's at OC Remix. Give it a Google. I'm sure you'll find it there, because apparently I don't know where it is. Anyway, so we've been talking about the spirit of the hero tonight. Of course, it is this idea out there. It's mostly inspired by a line by Demise in Skyward Sword, saying that he's cursing the blood of the goddess, which we all know what that is, and we don't need to discuss it. But the spirit of the hero, what is it? How do you get it? Like, how do we determine which Link is Link and which Link has this Spirit of the Hero and is he cursed? So, here's what we got. First off, Link's Hero 99 brings us a quote from Hyrule Historia from Twilight Princess. And it says that Link is a young goat herd who made his home in Orden Village. He possessed the qualities of the hero and remains a beast in the twilight without being transformed into a spirit. So, what does this say? Well, there's one thing that's very specific. He possesses qualities of the hero. What is the big word in that little portion there? In fact, the hero, not a hero. He's not just courageous. He doesn't have a sword wielding abilities. He has qualities of the hero. He has qualities of this hero that has been spoken of in legends. And maybe that is when they capitalize hero like that, maybe they're talking specifically about this idea of the spirit of the hero, that you have the qualities that exemplify what the spirit of the hero means. And guess what? That means congratulations. You've been chosen. You now have the spirit of the hero, whether you realize it or not, and you got a job to do. It's about giving you a destiny. Well, that's at least my take on it. When you have the spirit of the hero, what does it mean? You don't get to talk to some spirit inside you. You don't know you have the spirit in you. All it means is you're destined. And in fact, maybe it's even foretold inside ancient scholarly books in Hyrule that, hey, you got a spirit, you're destined to do this. You're destined to go to the Chamber of the Sages. You're destined to find the Triforce of Courage and unite it. Something like that. Who knows? Anyway, let's get into some theories. From Yasitaro says, Demise and Hylia were bound before his curse due to their good and evil representations. So, for example, we're looking at it like Demise is the evil demon king. Hylia is the good goddess of the land. And the hero is this guy who's just brought in. It's like, all right, Hylia is like, I can't do crap against this guy. We're evenly matched. Hero man, do the thing. It's a spirit hero. And it is a spirit hero. Spirit hero. Man, I have watched too much Legend of Korra. First I said do the thing, then I said spirit hero. Anyways, so Link goes to the spirit world. No, I'm just kidding. They go on vacation. Anyways, it's a good idea that Yasitaro had there, talking about how it's a cool way of looking at it as this third party thing. Now Giovanni Von, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, goes in and says, my theory is that Demise cursed the Triforce, wisdom and courage, forever bound in the morality of good and righteous, bear a leech of a curse that is Demise remise. In response to Demise curse lasts on the power, and Ganondorf is born. Interesting theory. But before I get into why I think it's incorrect, and if I want to kind of read what other people responded to it. Abra says, yes, there's many times where the hero has the spirit, but not always the Triforce. I don't think they could be linked. And Yasitaro says, the spirit of the hero is independent of the Triforce. The hero time and hero shade is no longer in possession of it, and the hero of winds didn't get it for a long time after starting his journey. However, actually, let me finish reading Yasitaro's message. Yasitaro says, heck, at the time of Zelda 1, the Triforce of Courage was especially lost. You were collecting the Triforce of Courage in Zelda 2. So, Yasitaro was bringing up what I said previously inside my last discussion section of the show before our last music block, about how Link doesn't need to have the Triforce to be have the spirit of the hero. Now, what's interesting is in the Wind Waker, that's a good place to look at evidence for this. It's interesting because when you defeat Godan, the boss of Tower of the Gods, he's like, you are definitely a hero that has been chosen. Go forth and do your destiny. Is that the moment where it's being said he has the spirit of the hero, or is he saying that one day he will? Because all we know is at the end of the game, when you fully unite the Triforce of Courage and open up the portal to Hyrule, is when the Triforce of Courage embodies you and appears on your hand, which is a point of much discussion for me. So it's kind of like saying, hey, When does he get the spirit of the hero? Does you ever get it? Are you born with it? And it's just a thing that's in you that needs to be awoken? What is it? What does it mean? I don't know. But I will say, excuse me, that I don't think it's about the Triforce. Because there have been instances where Link has not had the Triforce of Courage done awesome things. The biggest example of that, if we want to talk about the spirit of the hero and how it doesn't have to relate to the Triforce, is Spirit Tracks. I know! Spirit Tracks series? Who brought them into my house? Well, guess what? That Link there, he defeats Malladus, and I would hazard a guess saying that fellow has the spirit of the hero within him, and there's no Triforce in sight! That game doesn't have no Triforce. And despite how angry that makes me, and sad on the inside, he don't need no Triforce. He needs no Triforce. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing, you know? It's kind of a weird thing. So Giovanni Vaughn with the theory of the cursed Triforce, it's definitely a cool theory, and I like it when you look at it on the outside. But when you really dig into it and try to canonize it, you run into some issues, and that's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of it. But if you want to keep going with it, more power to you, my friend. The Zelda Kid 101 comes in with an epic fan theory time. The spirit of the hero is a special spirit made by the goddess Hylia after Demise was created. The spirit of the hero was helped to balance the Triforce pieces. And this kind of goes back to what Yasutaru said, saying that the hero was brought in by an outside influence. The outside influence was Hylia. Hylia set a couple of plans in motion, if you guys remember in Skyward Sword. First, she's like, all right, I'm going to become immortal. I'm going to no longer immortal. I'm amortal. Amortal. I can be killed. And second, you, Impa, you got work to do. And finally, you, Fi, Sword, do the sleepy and then wake up one day and find the guy who's supposed to come and save the world. And that happens. And then there's a curse. And that's why we're here today. That's why we're talking about this all. And it's an interesting theory. And but the question is, does Hylia create the spirit of the hero? Or is it something that's always existed and it's Fi who is the one who finds it? Fi is created for the sole purpose of finding the one who would embody that. That is a question that I can't answer because we don't have enough information. Captain Tria says, I think the goddesses, as in the golden goddesses, I'm guessing, Dinneru and Ferore, I think the goddesses are the one who chose which child will be given the spirit. I guess the spirit of the hero is more of a personality trait and potential. So a potential, saying, all right, I have the potential to become something great, and the goddesses look at, I don't know, maybe a pool of 100 kids born in a year, and they're like, well, I guess, you mean, you kind of got that blondish hair, swoopy. Your hair's brown, but you know what, you'll do. You still got the swoopy hair. Go for it, kid. Spirit of the hero. Congratulations. I know that's not nearly as epic as it would sound in reality, but this isn't reality. This is a video game. So, Cumtrine with an interesting point. Maybe it's Dinneru and Ferore who choose it. And Jack LTTP, Jack Link to the Past, comes in with an expansion on that theory saying, yes, that has never been his title, referring to earlier in the chat we were talking about Link, a hero of the gods, which I said was never his title. But Jack says, but didn't the light spirits in Twilight Princess call him the hero chosen by the gods? And that's a fair point. I believe that is a line. You are the hero chosen by the gods. And maybe, just maybe, that really helps out Captain Trina's theory, saying that the goddesses are the ones who chose it. The goddesses say, you're the hero. You have the spirit of the hero. Congratulations. You've done it. You've done it. I am happy for you. And that's a really good point. Chosen by the gods. It's in the text of the game. And that's a lot to go off of. After that, Rethwick, I hope I've said that right, comes and says, my theory is that the spirit of the hero is a sort of guardian angel that accompanies the hero spirit in the body of the hero. So it's kind of going back to my fan story that I was talking about earlier inside the show, where perhaps the spirit is just kind of like, he waits around, knows the Hyrule's in danger, and he's like, All right, folks, guess what it's time to do? It's time to follow this kid around and make sure he doesn't get himself into trouble. Maybe I'll help steer him. And it also pulls into the fourth wall type of thing that Malu CLBS said. The spirit of the hero is the player. And that's their opinion on it all. The Demise cursed you. You, the person playing the game. Demise said, you, whenever you pick up this game, there's going to be trouble afoot. Because guess what? You can't start up a Legend of Zelda game and not have an evildoer attack. That's how Legend of Zelda goes. You start up your game, everything's fine, and then everything hits the fan, and then bam! Congratulations, you have been cursed. And so hey, while I usually like the Void Fourth Wall theories, I think it's a great personification of what this idea of the spirit of the hero is. I want to avoid Fourth Wall theories because we're talking about, the history of Hyrule as if we lived in it. So if we want to go with the breaking the fourth wall theory, yes, the spirit of the hero might just be the person playing the game. But if we stick within the idea of canon and this being a real universe out there, maybe one day we'll find it. Get on it, NASA. We can assume that perhaps, just perhaps, that maybe he was chosen by the gods. Or maybe the Triforce has been cursed. And or maybe it's just Hylia's doing. Or maybe it's just having the right traits. And we're going to talk about all that and summarize all of your thoughts in just a few moments. But for right now, guys, I want to get back to a little bit of more music. I got something very fun and exciting for you, so please enjoy. I'll be back in a few minutes to wrap up tonight's show. Welcome back, everybody, at Hyrule Academy. Wonderful times we're having, and that last song you just heard was Zelda's First Trip to the Village by Josh Welchel. A wonderful, crazy remix to really give us some drive here as we come to a close on tonight's show. I've had a wonderful time tonight discussing many exciting things, specifically the spirit of the hero and all these other Triforces. And do we even care? I'm just kidding. I freaking love this stuff. It's so much great fun having you all out there, probably with your Hyrule Historias open right in front of you, your keyboard to the side of you, perhaps a nice frosty Lon milk rested precariously near your Hyrule Historia. You should probably put that on a separate table because you don't want to get that covered in milk, because then you'd spend $30 again buying another Hyrule Historia, and nobody wants that except Dark Horse Comics. I'm sure they would appreciate your $30, and you should probably give it to them because I love that book. Anyways, let's talk about the spirit of the hero. And we've had some discussions tonight, and it's all about this curse that Demise gives this spirit of the hero. That it's very much almost, I don't want to say a throwaway line, because it's explaining why the Legend of Zelda happened and why it's the Legend of Zelda and not the Legend of Link. It is the history of this goddess, who has a lineage, bringing the blood of the goddess down. But in addition to this blood of the goddess, it also talks about the spirit of the hero. And our theories were varying tonight, and all of them were very strong, talking about how it could have been created by Hylia. This spirit was created by Hylia, perhaps even by the Golden Goddesses. Maybe the Golden Goddesses just choose who gets the spirit of the hero. And it maybe by attached to the Triforce, like who's going to get the Triforce? Who has the Triforce determines who gets this spirit. And they're kind of like Link's guardian angel, always watching over them and making sure that they know where they need to go, always imparting their knowledge on them maybe in some way. And these are all valid theories. And I don't want to say they could all be right tonight, but they could all be right, and at the same time. Imagine if the spirit of the hero is created by Hylia, cursed by Demise, is chosen who gets it by the Golden Goddesses based on their destiny to retrieve the Triforce, and meanwhile it accompanies that hero as a guardian angel. Now, I've never done that on Hyrule Academy before. Took all the theories and meshed them into one before, because I think tonight might have been the only occasion where it could all work out. So, guys, guess what? There's our new fan theory. Yeah, it's a Hyrule Academy. We just combined it together. I don't know how much I agree with it, but hey, you know, it's not about agreeing to these theories. It's about making them and having fun. And I think we did very well. And plus, it's not even about who's right or who's wrong at Hyrule Academy. You don't get I'm not giving out Fs. Nobody's getting an F today. Everybody gets A's. Congratulations. They mean nothing. You're not getting an award. I'm sorry to disappoint. But we're about playing Zelda, this wonderful video game series that we love so much, and finding these little details hidden inside the scripts so meticulously written by these Japanese developers and translated by Bill Trennan and the rest of the localization crew, I'm sure. Mostly Bill Trennan, I'm sure. But no. It's about playing these games and whether or not the spirit of the hero is us. I'd like to say we all probably have a bit of the spirit of the hero in us, in that we have some fun playing these games and overcoming the challenges that we face. And hopefully those skills transfer into the real world in some way. But I wish I could say they do. But I guess for now it'll just be a video game for me, at least. And I hope everything out there is great for everybody else. I've had a fun time. We've played 250 songs plus here on Hyrule Academy. And we've had over 32 exciting conversations about some of the greatest pieces of Zelda lore and fan theories. And it's been a wonderful time this 2014. But unfortunately, all good things must come to a close. So this is going to be the end of our 2014 season. But do not fear, my Hyrule Academy students! We're not out of this yet. While we're going out to winter break like any honorable academy might, we will be back January 30th at 10 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time for more exciting Zelda conversations. The exact subject of our first show of 2015 will be announced later on Twitter. I'm at SuperMCGamer in case you are interested. It's been a wonderful time. If you want to, of course, support Radio Hyrule, thank you so much to Radio Hyrule for letting us do this show every week on their station. They love having us, and I love being able to talk to them because they're great people. If you want to support them, go to radiohyrule.com/donate. Throw a few rupees into the big wallet, and that'll help us do some amazing things on this radio station. And I'd love to continue to help out, make those things happen. As always, you can email me, mc@supermcgamer.com, with any requests and discussion. I have a busy time ahead of me, folks. I have Zeldathon, which is a very fun 6-day Zelda gaming marathon, all for charity, and that begins on December 27th at zeldathon.net. If you all would like to join me, I think that would be most excellent. I think it'll be a fun time. After that, I am going to Awesome Games Done Quick, which is another great charity marathon where everybody's going to be speedrunning video games and have a wonderful time seeing some of the coolest people that I know. And I hope you also tune into that afterwards. I am going to be then back home for a week, but unfortunately not enough time to get a Hyrule Academy all planned and out for you, because I will be heading afterwards to MagFest, the Music and Gaming Festival, where I'm going to meet some of the great musicians that we may have even heard tonight on the show. Is that insane? That tonight the music we heard, I could be meeting them in less than a month. Crazy stuff. And I'll be sure to bring back some stories and some video for you from that event. But after that's all said and done, January 30th, we'll be back with another season of Hyrule Academy. Thank you all for theorizing with me, and thank you as always for listening. To finish off this season of Hyrule Academy, how about something a little bit crazy? It's past, present, future, perfect by Protodome. Thanks you all for listening to Hyrule Academy. Hyrule Academy. Hyrule Academy. Hyrule Academy.